Okay, so this is your homework this week and it's all to do with rounding, which is what we did just at the end of the lesson yesterday. So if we're rounding to the nearest 10, I was saying that the strategy I want you to use is to put the letter T above the tens column, because that's what we're interested in, whether it's going to stay the same or whether we're going to move it up. The clue comes from the column next door. And the rule is, if we're rounding to the nearest 10, everything after that, every digit after that is going to be a 0. So we're only making a decision about this one. Is that going to move up or is it going to stay the same? 6 is more than that 5, so we're going to move it up. So that gives us 480. Okay, so there might be some more challenging ones like this one, for example. So I'm rounding to the nearest 10 again. So in this case, I'm going to put the T there for the tens column. Everything after it is going to be a 0. That's your next step. Next step is to look and say, okay, is this going to stay as 90 or is it going to move up to the next 10? The next 10 is 100, so we're actually going to be moving it up that way. 7, being bigger than 5, does tell us we have to move it up. So, because it's 90, the next one's 100, moving up to 800. Right, let's have a look at if we're rounding to the nearest 100 then. So here's my number, 4765. So this time, because it's near to the nearest 100, I'm going to put my H above the hundreds column. Everything after it will be zeros, and then I consider whether 7 stays as a 7 or whether I move it up. So it's 700 at the moment. 6 is more than 5, so we're going to move it up. So that's going to become 8. So our number is 4,800. It may be that I ask you to round to the nearest 1,000, but we follow the same steps. Instead of putting an H for 100, we put TH for thousands. One that I will show you is where I might ask you to round it to the nearest integer, which is like rounding it to the nearest unit. So here's an example of one of those. So I might have 5.4, and I've got to round it to the nearest unit or integer. So I'm going to put the U above the units column. Everything after it is going to be a 0. So 4 is less than that 5, so I'm going to keep it below. So the answer is 5. Now because it's 5.0, we don't need the point 0 and we should just leave that as 5. Okay, if I was rounding to the nearest tenth this time, let's have a look. So we've got 4.28. So I put the T for tenth. Everything after that's going to be a 0. So I'm thinking about the tenths column. It's 8, which is more than 5, so I'm going to round it up. So my answer is 4.30. Because there are no hundredths, I should record that in the end as 4.3. Okay, so there's a few examples there. One of those examples at least will help you to complete the work you've got to do.